I was reading a little bit of Phil Jackson. He talks about metacognition, self-awareness as a coach, and humility being like kind of that backbone, that humility of like, I don't have all the answers, but when things come up, that accountability piece, being able to show your kids, your parents, I am accountable for not knowing everything, but I'll figure it out. Building those relationships, the day-to-day too, like being able to invest in a group over a long period of time, being with the same group of kids. Where do you feel like some of the relationships have been built and knowing that the trajectory of being able to be with them year after year, is that pretty special for you?
So, it's such a great point in both aspects. The first thing you said about like the self-awareness of coaching kind of touches on the previous idea of like, hey, when I'm wrong, I got to be wrong too. Like it can't always just be you. It can't always just be everybody else. And to have the awareness of, hey, just because we don't have the right approach now, how we run a practice now compared to how I ran a football practice 2 years ago is a lot more efficient, right? A lot of the things I've had to learn through, okay, this is what makes sense in my brain, but I'm not running an NFL practice. I got to run a practice with 5th and 6th graders, and then 6th and 7th, and then last year 7th and 8th. So as we evolve, as the kids evolve, as we learn, okay, this drill sounded great, didn't get the job done. How do we manipulate it to get the point across better? How do we handle our summer workouts that we don't peak too early? Like, we've done things wrong, and we haven't gotten the results we've wanted, but it's the ability to adapt and to change that, to your point, is spot on. The second aspect, of the conversation with just the idea of coaching in general is just like, you gotta love it. Like, you've got to really just like pour into these kids and just say like, I know that whether you like it or not in this given moment, like, I'm gonna see you grow. And I think that's the relationships that you're talking about. Like, I've had kids that I've coached since they were 6 years old, and now they're getting ready to go to high school. And and it's so cool to see their growth. It's so cool to see that sparkle in their eye and that light bulb go off. Those are the moments we live for, right? You don't remember your record, your wins and losses. You remember the moments. You remember the experiences. You remember the connections, the relationships. No different than what we look back on our NFL careers one day. You remember the big moments, you remember the games, but like, could I really tell you what our record was in 2012? Like, if I thought long enough, I probably could, but I could tell you a special moment. I could tell you about the locker room. I can tell you about a coach. That's what it's all about.